Hello children, I hope you have watched the previous video related to Act 2, Scene 1. Today I will start with Scene 2. In this scene, the clown or fool, that is Lancelot Gobbo, is involved in a long soliloquy and finds his conscience in conflict with the devil. He is working as a servant for Shylock, but he decides to leave Shylock's service and join Bassanio's service. He teases his father, who is half blind, by pretending to be dead. After that, later, Lancelot joins Bassanio's service and Bassanio gets ready to leave for Belmont. Gratiano requests Bassanio to let him accompany him to Belmont, and Bassanio grants his request on the condition that he would behave properly and keep control over his tongue. Now I will start with the explanation. Scene 2 is taking place on a street in Venice. Enter Lancelot. Lancelot is a clown, a fool, and he is working as a servant for Shylock. Now here Lancelot is in a dilemma. He is not able to understand, or he is not able to decide whether he should stay at Shylock's house and serve him or run away from there. So his conscience, that is his inner voice, is telling him to do something, whereas the devil is telling him to do something else, and he is finding it very difficult to decide. Certainly my conscience will serve me to run from this Jew, my master. Now here Lancelot says that certainly his conscience, that is his inner voice, will serve me. Serve me means will allow him to run away from the Jew, my master. That is, his conscience will also allow him to run away from Shylock. The fiend is at mine elbow. Fiend means the devil. The devil is at mine elbow. Mine elbow means very near to him. The devil is sitting very near to Lancelot and is tempting me, saying to me, Gobbo Lancelot, Gobbo, good Lancelot, or good Gobbo, or good Lancelot Gobbo, use your legs, take the start, run away. So the devil is telling Lancelot to use his legs and start immediately and run away from Shylock's house. My conscience says, no, take heed. But his conscience says, no, take heed. That is, take care. Honest Lancelot, take heed, honest Gobbo. Or as aforesaid, honest Lancelot Gobbo, do not run. Scorn running with thy heels. And his conscience says that as aforesaid, aforesaid means as said before, honest Lancelot, do not run. That is, the conscience is telling him not to run and to scorn running with thy heels. He should despise running with his heels. Well, the most courageous fiend bids me back. But on the other hand, the most courageous fiend, that is the devil, bids me pack. Bids me pack means it tells him to pack up and leave Shylock's house. Via, says the fiend, away. That is, by road, just get away from here. The devil tells him to go away from there. Says the fiend, for the heavens rouse up a brave mind. And the devil tells him, for heavens rouse up a brave mind. That is, awaken a brave mind. Be courageous, be brave, make yourself brave and go away from there, says the fiend, and run. Well, my conscience hanging about the neck of my heart says very wisely to me. So the fiend tells him to be brave and to go away from there, whereas his conscience hanging about the neck of my heart, that is clinging on to his heart, says very wisely, my honest friend Lancelot, being an honest man's son, or rather an honest woman's son, well, my conscience says, Launcelot, budge not. So, here his conscience is clinging on to his heart and says very wisely to Launcelot that you are honest, that Launcelot is an honest person, and being an honest man's son, that is a virtuous man's son, or rather an honest or virtuous woman's son, he should not budge. Budge means move. Launcelot, budge not. So the conscience tells him not to move. Budge, says the fiend, budge not, says my conscience. The fiend, that is the devil, tells him to budge, that is move, whereas his conscience tells him budge not, do not move. Conscience, say I, you counsel well. Fiend, say I, you counsel well. Now here Launcelot says that both his conscience and the devil is giving him a good counsel, is giving him a good advice. Say I, to be ruled by my conscience, I should stay with the Jew, my master, who, God bless the mark, is a kind of devil. And here Launcelot says that if he is to be ruled by his conscience, ruled means if he is to be guided by his conscience, then he should stay. If he should listen to his conscience, then he should stay with his master, that is with Shylock. Who, God bless the mark. God bless the mark means if he may say so, that he himself is a kind of devil. So Launcelot says that if he is going to listen to his conscience, then he should stay with his master Shylock, who himself is a kind of devil. And to run away from the Jew, I should be ruled by the fiend, who, saving your reverence, is the devil himself. And then he says that if he runs away from the Jew, if he runs away from Shylock's house, then he will be ruled by the fiend. That is, he will be guided, he will be listening to the devil. Who, saving your reverence, saving your reverence means with all due respect, is the devil himself. So here he's, according to Launcelot, Shylock was also like a devil, and he wanted to run away from that devil. Certainly the Jew is the very devil incarnation, and here he says that the Jew, that is Shylock, is the very devil incarnation. Incarnation means in human form. So according to Launcelot, Shylock was a devil in human form. Shylock was so wicked and so cruel and evil-minded that Launcelot says that he was a devil in human form. And in my conscience is but a kind of hard conscience to offer to counsel me to stay with the Jew. And in my conscience here means to speak truly. So Launcelot says that to speak truly, his conscience is but a kind of hard conscience. He says that his conscience is hard, is a strict conscience. That is why it is offering to counsel him to stay with the Jew. So according to Launcelot, his conscience was strict, it was hard. That is why it was telling Launcelot to stay with such a person like Shylock. The fiend gives the more friendly counsel. So he says that the fiend, that is the devil, was giving him a more friendly counsel, more friendly advice. I will run, fiend, my heels are at your commandment, I will run. And so finally Launcelot decides to listen to what the devil is advising him, and he decides that he will run. My heels are at your commandment. Heels here means legs. My legs are at your commandment means my legs are ready to run as you have commanded. I will run. So finally Launcelot decides to run away. He decides to go away from Shylock's house. So in this way, Lancelot finds the advice of conscience very hard to follow, and so he decides to do what the devil tells him, that is, run away from Shylock's service. Enter old Gobbo with a basket. Now old Gobbo is Lancelot's father, and he is half blind, and so he cannot see clearly. So here Lancelot is trying to fool his own father. Gobbo, master young man, you, I pray you, which is the way to master Jews? So here old Gobbo, he comes with a basket and asks Lancelot himself. He doesn't recognize that he is standing and talking to his own son. He's half blind, so he's not able to see Lancelot clearly, and he asks Lancelot himself the way to master Zeus. He asks Lancelot to tell him the way to Shylock's house. Lancelot aside, O heavens, this is my true begotten father, who being more than blind, sand blind, high gravel blind, knows me not. I will try confusions with him. And here Lancelot sees that old Gobbo, his father, is not able to see him clearly. So he speaks aside and says that it is his true begotten father who is more than sand blind. Sand blind means more than half blind. High gravel blind. High gravel blind means almost completely blind. He couldn't see clearly whatever was in front of him. Knows me not. And Lancelot sees that his father knows me not. Knows here means recognizes. His father was not able to recognize him. So I will try confusions with him. So Lancelot decides that he will try to confuse his father. Gobbo, master young gentleman, I pray you, which is the way to master Jews? Again, old Gobbo asks Lancelot the way to Shylock's house. Lancelot, turn up on your right hand at the next turning, but at the next turning of all on your left. Now here Lancelot tries to give directions in a very confusing manner. So he tells his father, old Gobbo, to turn up on his right hand at the next turning, but at the next turning of all, turn to your left. Marry at the very next turning, turn off no hand. Marry here means he swears by Blessed Mary, the mother of Jesus. And he tells old Gobbo that at the very next turning, turn off no hand. Turn off no hand means not to turn in any direction, but turn down indirectly to the Jew's house, but to turn and go straight towards the Jew's house. Gobbo, by God's Sontes. Sontes means saints. Here Gobbo is swearing by God's saints. It will be a hard way to hit. So old Gobbo is also confused, and he says that it will be a hard way to hit. That is, it will be a very difficult way to take and reach Shylock's house, because he is confused by the way Lancelot had told him the direction. Can you tell me whether one Lancelot that dwell with him or no? And then old Gobbo asks that whether one Lancelot who dwells means who lives with Shylock is living with him at present or not. Lancelot, talk you of young master Lancelot aside. Mark me now, now will I raise the waters. Talk you of young master Lancelot. Lancelot tries to pretend and ask Gobbo, are you talking of master Lancelot? And then aside, he says that mark me now. Now, see what I am going to do. Now will I raise the waters. So he decides to make his father cry and bring tears into his eyes. Raise the waters means bring tears into his eyes. Talk you of young Master Launcelot? Are you talking of young Master Launcelot? Gobbo, no master, sir, but a poor man's son. So Gobbo says that don't call him master because he is a poor man's son. His father, though I say it, is an honest, exceeding poor man, and God be thanked well to live. And then Gobbo says for himself that his father, that is he himself, is an honest, exceeding means very poor man, and God be thanked, and thank God well to live, that is he leads a very good life. Launcelot, well, let his father be water will. So Launcelot just very casually says, let his father be water will. Water will means let his father be what he is. We talk of young master Launcelot. We are talking of Launcelot. Gobbo, your worship's friend and Launcelot, sir. So Gobbo also says, yes, we are talking of your worship's friend, that is Launcelot. Launcelot, but I pray you, ergo, old man, ergo, I beseech you, talk you of young master Launcelot. Now here Launcelot says that I pray you, I request you, ergo. Ergo here means therefore. It is a Latin word for therefore. And he says that I request you, are you talking of young master Launcelot? Again he asks that question. Gobbo, of Launcelot ain't please your mastership. So Gobbo again tells him, yes, he is talking of Launcelot. Ain't please means if it pleases your mastership. Now we will do this much for today, children. Just go through the video carefully and note down the important meanings and revise.